Hello and welcome to the 2026 edition of the Amherst Railroad Society Hobby Show in Springfield, Mass. Starting from the Cato section this time. Some N-scale trains, including a classic 1980s, 90s Amtrak long distance train. Look at that.
I like the market in absolutely, yeah. It's a little cutthroat kind of. You got the relationship with that railroad. Yeah.
There's Big Boy.
To me, it's very good because if you want a model
and a Metro engine.
If you do an N-scale, you gotta do it like.
Ooh, V-rail. Here's some new unpainted samples of the V-Liner 2s. Previously, Cato made the V-Liner baggage car in HO scale, but now they've got the V-Liner baggage dorm, the sleeper, I think it's the diner, and then that's the sleeper. Here's your first look. Yeah, that's the diner, and that's the sleeper, and that's the baggage dorm.
It's hard to walk into this building and not see that.
And for N-scale fans, they have the SD70 ACU. I'm not sure what that is, but they've got some sort of military liveries for Canadian Pacific. And here's a little bit of HO scale. Including the Amtrak 50th anniversary phase 1 unit, which I think sadly caught fire in real life. And now we'll turn our attention over to Bachmann trains. Here's some of their G-scale lineup. Look at that, it's a coffee pot.
Would you like that?
Apparently this upper car is new. Oh, here's your first look at it.
I love the mini. Look at the tiny screen.
Here's some more G gauge.
So this size here is what I have. I have a whole group of trains. So that's full gauge or it's narrow gauge?
There's your N gauge stuff. Oh, that's N gauge and fleets. Look at that. I've got some chargers. Now I'll take a look at the Thomas and Friends stuff. Here's a look at the N gauge line. I don't remember seeing an LBSE version before. I think also the Express coaches might be new tooling. I'm not sure which of these are new versus which of these have already been out for a while. So you'll have to tell me in the comments. I don't really keep up to date with the model stuff very well. Here's the this is the narrow gauge line. Yeah, so so that's standard gauge, and this is 009. Here's a better look now at the HO stuff. It's already been out for a long time now. I think Bachmann's also making one of Flying Scotsman, but they don't have that here today. Remember this guy from Boba. Up here we got some props. I know they had Jeremy the jet plane. And here's screen on the cover for the 2026 catalog for Bachmann is the 4449 in the American Freedom Train livery. I think this year a lot of model manufacturers will be celebrating America's 250th birthday. Also got a coach. And here's the D-Wood Clinton, which I actually heard. I think this might be the new release. Yeah, because Bachmann used to came out with the D-Wood Clinton back in the 1980s, and now they're bringing it back. And it doesn't seem like there's substantial updates, from what I can tell. They might. I heard they're going to upgrade the motor, but that's all I know. Up here we got some Phase 7 Amfleet coaches. We got a Phase 7 coach car. That's 2 coaches. Okay, this is a business class, but it's actually a cafe car, so I'm not sure why they're calling it business. There's a regular cafe coach in Phase 7. And we got Via Rail used on the corridor. And there's another look at the Acela 2 train set, which I've shown a couple times now. A couple other. There's a 449. This is in the Southern Pacific Daylight. And I believe this is supposed to be wartime black. I think this is the Via Rail Special Heritage Scheme or something or other. Not sure what that is. There's the Hudson. And I won't bore you with more of the same models I've shown on this channel already, so here's a quick glance at a lot more HO stuff. A lot of historic and modern stuff. Over here at Rapido, they did a big reveal of 2 new models. Yeah, they did a bit of a presentation, but it seems they're all finished now. Also, no mention here's the Chicago L models. I guess they're making. Here, look at the other new thing.
I'm trying to get them out of the way because they're all 3D printed and some touches them, they're all
3D printed.
yeah, shells for yeah.
Be around.
All right, kid, next time.
Here's some FT units. That's the cool thing about coming to the show. You see some new models for the first time. Although it does attract a huge crowd. And I'm almost proud to show you they're also making the M3. There's the Metro North version. And Long Island Railroad. As well as the P32. Is that FL9? I don't know, but they got the P32 in the Metro North scheme, as well as New Haven. And down here, Toronto. Look at the detail on the bogie. I want one. Too bad my wallet says otherwise. Yeah, that's an FL9. Over here in the Walters booth, we have some very interesting Amtrak stuff, including their own Phase 7 Amfleet coach. First, I've actually seen one up close. And here's Phase 7 coach class. Also got an Amfleet 2 coach in the regular Phase 4 scheme. And another Amfleet 2 coach, but in the classic Phase 3. Oh, it's got a couple of classic baggage cars, but what I'm really interested in is these two guys, the Viewliners. They have a Viewliner in the original Phase 4 scheme. And they also have a Viewliner in the modern Phase 7. And a couple of Soupliners. Here are some freight engines, including the Chassis System CSX Heritage Unit and a CPKC engine. Ooh, look at that, Horizons. I guess those got their own B42 lineup. And there's some Horizons in the Phase 3 scheme. Of course, Horizons are no longer in service because they're rubbish. So this is a sample, actually. He has an early sample of Walther's own P42. Which actually I'm surprised they're making P42. I thought Athearn already had their own, but I guess Walther's like, no, we're gonna make a P42 as well. Here's a boxcar with the greatest railroad in the world. Yay. I guess this is something new, the Amtrak Rural Station.
If it's something we've done,
Proto 2000 did it.
okay, then we have the tool. That could be something you could see us putting back there. Frisco's cooking.
And here's Walther's own layout. The Chicago Northwestern loco. Yes. Here's Daddy. Now here's our first actual load of the day. There's some shunting work. Well, we spent a lot of time gawking at the manufacturers, but now look at some actual layouts.
Yeah, we've derailed a few.
You guys had a Team Pacific special, but it's going backwards for some reason.
Yeah. They don't like to go backwards. Not through this yard ladder. Over these goodness.
I was there in Ogden when they ran that train for the first time.
Oh, really? Nice. The one in 2014 for the first time?
So it was, when the big boy came.
I think I've shown this set piece here on the channel before, but I might as well show it again because I really like the way it looks. And right next to it is a rich person's cars dealer. That's pretty wild consist. Oh, here's the other guy.
She filmed it.
Look at that. Look at that, it's like some road running.
Because I'm stopping, but the real ones don't stop. I'm sure it's faster.
It's a gold team.
What's the valve that opens and closes? Oh, I'm not So how do you turn the coal off? Is that like a guillotine kind of gate? Sliding back and forth. Sliding gate.
And you can watch the light turn red, green, red, green.
And do you have the gate wide open? So I'm hoping I do.
Look at that.
Yeah, the front wheel.
What do I look like? You're working? You bring it back yourself. I can't go get it. I know. You come over here. I gotta leave. You take over. Unbelievable, bro.
Domino's truck. MBTA bus. And stay it.
Steve's doing switching. He was really out.
Over here's the New Jersey Transit section. I have to hold my phone high up because everyone's snapping their super long conversations. Anyway, yeah, here's the New Jersey Transit section. You have the whole New Jersey Transit map. All good stuff here. That's a. Oh, that's there. Look at that train sim World 6. Yeah, how about that? A train sim world reference in this video. I bet you didn't expect that, but yeah. Apparently, you can win Train Sim 6 Special Edition.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I torrented it, so I don't need to do that. And here's a large-scale LP45 DP locomotive. Look at that. And a number board. Everyone here really loves New Jersey Transit for some reason. They're all slumbering over here for some reason. They didn't know New Jersey Transit was that special.
I'm here with the one on check at Pennsylvania Railroad Technical Historical Society. So we're based on Long Island.
I'll be making my rounds here a little bit. In like 20, and then I'll come, find you guys.
We sell merch. All proceeds go towards fundraising.
Hello. How did you?
I was actually fortunate enough to meet.
CT Rail also have their own booth here. I actually wrote on CT Rail a few years ago, and I did videos on both of those. Actually advertising both the Shoreline East and the Hartford line. I've actually done videos on both those lines, so if you want to take a look at those, look at the Rail Trains playlist. I guess Trains also have their own booth here. Oh, this is not the Trains video game that I do a lot of videos on. This is the Trains retailer. And of course, we can't forget about the Penn Central Railroad Historical Society. I hate Penn Central. Here's where they sell all the Japanese trains. Yeah, saw that coming from a mile off, didn't you? Some old gauge trains for sale, including a toaster. Danbury Road Museum is here as well. I think they're supposed to be selling merchandise relating to AM7 number 917, which is the one that they saved. I don't see it though. There it is. Big line for it.
We work with them.
Here's a closer look, actually. Yes, this is AM7 917. Like I said, I think that's the one that Danbury saved. I guess it's going to repaint it to phase 3 at some point. I also got an FL9 that's in wooden railway. Yes. He's back.
Hey, John, can you normalize the board over there? Just press normalize and I activate.
didn't realize the stream was this long.
I think so. Yes. You're going to be 2 and 2. What train is that train?
That's cool.
Look at this.
Let me start with this and add 2 more.
And here's the virtual railfan booth.
See what I'm saying? I know your head's full. That's a lot.
Nothing really to see here though. Here's the scale trains booth. A lot of American freight stuff.
And there's a different version of it that we had.
Here's every single
CSX
heritage unit.
This is our latest run of the
so they're ready
multi-days. We've got
But normally in service they have
no, this car now.
And here's this guy next to 1,000,000 coaches.
That made me happy. So
We're kind of in the woods, so stuff's still stuck in the trees. So it's like very late. It's cars in the car.
and that is one thing I do miss about the Midwest.
But our driveway, we had what was that?
Typically, when I'm going and
Look
doing
at
an
that, a
operating
British
session,
engine.
I map these up to direction change.
Yeah, German
if I'm
one.
doing a lot of switching and stuff like that.
And they can access like turnout lists and stuff as well.
Absolutely, you can.
This is the ESU booth.
I've been talking to these guys about it. I'm the guy. And I tried to get up with a couple years away before. So if you want to set something new. You want to set something up? So this system right here, it's going to come with this base station, this throttle, power supply, everything that you would need.
Gold train. Engage.
No, that's it.
Train's coming. You're right. The train's coming.
More Dark Side Thomas the Tank merch. Train catapult. And there's that scary thing which you might have seen before. You'd have to be insane to buy that. Hang on, do the cool thing again. Well, cool slash terrifying, whichever way you want to put it. Yeah, I've got these cells from Model Railway Club in Hingham, Mass. I've done a number of videos on this this location, and I will be going back here in this spring. Well, we've now made our way over to the Strobe building, where there's a bunch of books here, including this one, which caught my eye with an Acela engine. Also Avalia. Yes.
There's a mandatory has gas in it also, otherwise it's not running.
Tanks.
Maybe we're building a military train company.
Here's the same layout that we see every year in the Strobe building. This part has got some road running. And it's the only layout in this building, so we're gonna quickly move on. This is some sort of branch line construction thingy. Tall trains. Maybe. Here we are now over in the Young building, where we've got the usual O-scale layout. This is a layout that used to show up at the New England Mall Train Expo in Marlboro, but not anymore. Well, they do still appear at the Greenberg Train Show in Wilmington. And there's the camera train. This seems to be another retailer, but they have a Mark MP36. as well as the Virginia Railway Express one.
But it was a small.
Here's a Challenger. This is on the layout with the big trains. A big train next to a tiny train.
I'm coming into the yard now. If you move your box, that'd be good.
It's so slow. This train's going backwards. And this layout is almost completely dead. Well, since there's no trains running this layout, I guess I'll just show a few of the scenery pieces that I find to be the most impressive. One in particular is this train station. Reminds me of your average commuter rail station.
Which one?
This one.
What station does it remind you of?
The average commuter rail station.
It's like the one in Kingston.
Over here we got a circus.
Okay. It fits nice. My father likes the amazing.
Here's a much bigger station. This town here is pretty impressive. Now there's a train here, but it's not moving. Amtrak.
It's just such a nice
See, it's in the bigger.
I'm just putting it back in the yard.
How much is it?
The way they go around.
Here now at the Markland booth, as well as LGB and Tricks. Guessing those are other European manufacturers. We got some trains in this layout here going slow. We got a lot of detail in it though. And we got a mix of European. Oh, is that a 140? No, it's 151. Oh, 140. Ooh, Flying Scotsman in Wartime Black. How about that?
You're sitting in the track.
Well, they got the maintenance machine in action.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about that.
More big trains. These are the more of the European ones.
They have a Haribo on. They have a Haribo sign. I know, they just not backwards, so. Well, backwards Haribo. Well, how much is it? I don't know. No, I'm curious, actually.
Now as well as this set here, which looks to be a knockoff Vectron. Oh wait, it's the Glacier Express. Huh. Not really though.
$200.
There's a BR218. And there's a real Vectron. Here's some American stuff, including an entire Amtrak train set. This is Tricks. And now some really tiny trains. And here's a couple of G-Gauge Amtrak P42s, one in the Pepsi Can Heritage Scheme and the other in the Phase 6. Well, we found the Pico booth and it looks like the British have invaded. Is this a British snack? I'm gonna eat it. Also here in the Pico booth, they got some displays here, some dioramas, including one involving an Amtrak Metroliner. Yes. And now this is the Pico American booth. They've got a Sprinter thingy in HO. I'm all that. And over here they have a table with multiple scales on the same table. We've got HO and NG. Yeah, we've got big trains, medium trains, and tiny trains. Over here, a little play place for the children. This train is going so slow that I'm going to speed him up. Well, here's the Northeast End track layout, which is actually really big, but also hardly any trains running on it, so there's your one and only shot of it.
Dad? Oh, Dad, it's the one we've seen. It can move on its own.
Indeed, I think we've seen this at a previous edition of this show. Oh, here it is again. Because why not? Oh, here we are in the Mallory building and at the Atlas booth. And right off the bat, AM7isms, yeah. Well, specifically AM7 LP44. Available Q2 2026. We have a New Jersey Transit version, all ready to go. We also have some unpainted samples, and it looks to be an AM7 with the ditch lights, yeah. Not too long ago, we actually saw the Atlas AM7 at the Providence Northern show, the Phase 5 AM7, except I guess that one didn't have the ditch lights because I guess they couldn't be bothered to make a show with the ditch lights. Now they have, and it looks superb. Yeah. And here's an LP44. And here's an like I said, yeah, well, okay. Yeah, this is an undecorated LP44. And there's an LP44 in the New Jersey Transit scheme. Yes. But I'm glad they're making an AM7 with the ditch lights because it just looks so wrong without if it's the Phase 5 or the the later conditioned versions. Earlier versions look fine in Phase 3 without the ditch lights, but the later ones when they had ditch lights, yeah. Also got this, something epic. Yeah. Also have these, some sort of auto rack, and some Metra gallery coaches. Yes, I love Metra. They also have this. And these. I remember these guys from last year, and maybe the year before that. It's so slow, come on. Look at that. Here's this layout, which you'll recognize from previous editions of this show. MBTA train, first one of the day I've seen actually. That's how they have some nice long trains. Very long.
Like Usually, you used to be able to see it from close. It looks like they've got
Look at that big thing. No. Well, I was wondering what the hell it was. Turns out it's in this room this year. Here's the Springfield layout from the last couple of years, except this time it's got no Springfield, which is pretty cursed. Look at this, we've got several wooden railway trains of trains that I'm actually familiar with. Got a Charger, look at that. P42 with the Superliners. F40 with looks to be Horizons. We got Charger with Ventures. Metra and Tri-Rail. Metro North Rail Runner. Ooh, look at this. We got some European transportation. Got the ICE3 TGV Duplex and the E320 Eurostar. And Via Rail. This seems to be some sort of static diorama, but looks to be Boston because we've got a Boeing Green Line train. Yes.
Anybody can
look at that, a motorized MBT bus. Yeah. Actually, multiple motorized vehicles.
And another one down there.
And a very slow-moving train. Here we are then at the Lionel booth, the last of the major manufacturers that we're going to see today. And notice they have an entire shelf thingy showing their HO scale models, including this turd. Yes. If you're familiar with Sam's trains, you know all about this thing. Well, the coaches are a bit different. will say this, I didn't know that Lionel was going this far into HO, but yeah. There's their Polar Express thingy. I stole a bit naff. That was a DoorDash boxcar though? Huh, that's something I didn't think I would ever see. This is a old gauge. The only thing I like about this engine is the machine gunfire it does when it moves along, but other than that, it's rubbish. I believe these are some new samples. To be honest though, of all the samples I've seen today, this is the least exciting one.
No, it's not. So Robert reached out. I don't know if you reached out to me or I reached out. I don't remember.
Yeah, let me know what your opinion of Lionel is. I know they're not the most revered manufacturer anymore. This looks pretty cool though. $260. Look at that. If you watch the New England Mall Train Expo video, you'll actually recognize this layout. And it's got the Polo Express on it this time. Even though Christmas was about a month ago. Slow. Why is everyone obsessed with going slow today? State of Maine potatoes. You know, back in the day, I used to joke this is an Amtrak boxcar. I mean, it kind of looks like it. Look at that. I think that's a Model T. But of course, for the rails.
Say that the bridge is up and down. If the bridge is up, it stops the train.
Here we have another G scale layout, and this one is absolutely huge. Oh, looks pretty cool. As does the monorail. This is another HO layout where the train frequency is once every 5 years, so I'm just going to show off the scenery pieces that I find to be the most interesting. Got this big steelworks here. Yeah. And a grade crossing with the gates down, except there's no train. Over here we have an Amtrak Turboliner. And right over here is a rather interesting train. We have a CPKC thingy train. I actually have no idea what this load is. I think this train was running a second ago. But then the driver couldn't be bothered after a while. It's always the best trains that are parked in the sidings. Yeah, this layout has a lot of details. It's a shame the traffic is nothing. Maybe there were more trains running on this layout earlier today, but you have to remember that this train still is huge and it takes the whole day to see everything. For reference, I got here at 9 a.m. right when the doors opened, and it is now 2 hours before the doors close. Well, 2 hours before the doors close, yet there's still a lot of people here. Got this big highway bridge next to a big viaduct. Look at that. Also got a big lift bridge. Container yard. And the last one I can be bothered to show is a green field. Oh, never mind. They woke up and decided to run some trains on this layout.
We'll put it on the calendar if we don't have it. Put it out there. If we can get it recognized, then we do that. We go. And we have a layout that's roughly this size. So that we can level on the ground. You know, and then we just, the Vermont Garden Railroad decided to fold it up a couple of years ago. They just donated their old portable about this size in a trailer. Give us the whole thing. Whatever, maybe some of them.
This is the layout that I actually remember seeing at this show a couple years ago. I remember before this route, this layout was in the Better Living Center. This time, though, it's in the Mallory Building.
With ours, it's all standard spacing, so it doesn't matter. You know? So this.
To be honest, of all the layouts today, this might be the worst one in terms of detail.
Now I can take his and put it over there.
Well, here's something that isn't a model, but is actually a real thing. I don't know what it is, but it's old. And it says Railway Express Agent. Or Railway Express Agency. Well, it wouldn't be a New England train show without an appearance from the New England European train enthusiasts. Look at that, a BR-266. In case you didn't know, it's actually a British Class 66, but Germanified.
My sister and I were saying
Yeah, right next to him is the Swiss N-Gauge layout. I'm trying to remember one year it was at the New England Mall Run Expo, but now it seems we're only ever going to see it here at the Amherst show, which is slightly disappointing, but oh well.
Oh, that's insane.
Over here on the northeast quarter layout, we got a train that doesn't even run on the northeast quarter. Well, I guess technically it does, but why does it have ALC 42 locomotives when it should have ACS 64s? As usual, we have a layout which is entirely made of Legos. This is the Nelug, which you'd be familiar with from previous videos. Well, that's bank coaches. With no face. And there's Tim Tom with a face. Can't. It's a Russian train. It's like some sort of modern city. Look at that. Well, that bridge goes right just a second ago. We'll have more British trains. Got a GWR and L&R IET trains.
same photo. So I guess we're gonna have 2.
I just realized this is actually the one layout that I saw today. Well, the one big layout that I didn't get any trains on. Because ironically, there were no trains running on it when I first saw this layout. And I didn't go there when there were trains, and yeah. Oh well. And that will do it for the 2026 edition of the Amherst Hobby Show thingy in Springfield, Massachusetts. A lot more stuff to see, and yeah, that's the end. And but we'll likely be back again next year. But for now, we hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, and let's try not to fall over the ice. And this Daddy here to say,
Watching.
and
Bye.